Hi, my name is Joanne and this is 123stitch.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make cording for your finished projects using the Kreinik Custom Corder. I'll show you how to measure for the size that you need, and we're going to make single color as well as two color cording. Before we get started though, please go down below and click on that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And anything I mention, any product I mention today will be listed as a link in the description below. This little pillow is from Lizzie. It's from their 3-word series called Embrace the Journey. And the advantage of making your own cording is you can pick out the exact colors you want. So you can use the actual same color floss that you used in the design to make your cording. You don't have to go to the store and try to find something that might possibly match and work with your design. In this case, I picked out this berry color and I made a simple 1-color cording for it. I also made a 2-color cording in a brown and cream color, the brown being from down here, and then it kind of matched the backing fabric I have, a brown and white or brown and cream background. And then to attach the cording, you can either glue it and pin in place or you can couch it down. But we'll go through how to measure how much thread you need and how to determine how thick you want the cording to be and exactly how you make the cording. My example today that we're going to work on is this little pillow. This is from Lizzie again, from the Tidings 19 series. And it's just this cute little Christmas ornament I made a while ago with backing fabric, but I never got around to putting cording on it. So today we're going to make a single color red cording and a red and white striped cording. I've made lots of cording. I've tried all kinds of different techniques, and I'm going to show you what I found works best for me. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Okay, here's a couple of the supplies we're going to need to make our cording, our project, our Kreinik corder, scissors, some kind of tape, and lots of floss. First, we need to measure our design. We're going to measure all 4 sides of our project to see how much floss we're going to need. And you can either get a tape measure out, or you can just take some DMC floss or whatever thread you're going to use and kind of loosely go around all 4 sides. And that is approximately the size that we need. Now, this is the size around, but when you're making cording, you need a lot more than this. It's going to get wound up and get a lot smaller. So what I generally do is make this size 4 times larger. So that means I'll take my thread, fold it over 4 times, and then that is the length of thread that I'm going to be working with. I need a lot more than just this one, but to start with, that's the size that we need. Now, I said 4 times the distance around. Some people do 3 times. I actually like 4 times better. It gives you some extra in case you have knots or mistakes or whatever. I'd rather have more than not enough. If that is just to go around the edges of the design, if you're going to be putting, for instance, a hanger at the top or some sort of tassel, you're going to want more. So I would do 5 times the measurement around to make sure you have plenty. Now, I'm going to be demonstrating the single color first, but it's pretty much the same as 2 colors. I'll show you how it works. I am doing the method where you wind 2 different bunches of floss or thread separately, and then you twine them together. The other method is to do 1 big loop, wind it up, then you put this in the center of your loop, bring the 2 ends together, let this spin, and make the cording. I find that the cording is looser when I do that method. It looks more like this one where it's kind of a loose cord, which is fine. But if I do the winding them separately, it's much tighter, and I like this appearance much better. So that's the way I do it right now. One other thing you're going to need is I have a command hook attached to the table here, and it can come off easily, but you need something to hold your thread. A person, a command hook, a clamp, something to hold the thread. You can also do this on a door. I like doing it on the table because as long as the threads are short enough, I can tape down and just deal with it here instead of trying to do it on a door or wall. Okay, so we have our the length of thread that we need for our cording. However, we need a lot more than just this one. This is DMC cotton floss. It's not separated at all. We're using the full 6 strands, but I'm going to need 8 pieces that look just like this one. That's going to be for one color. I need 8 pieces of this one color. So I have already cut those out. They look like this. And once we've got our 8, we're going to deal with them separately. We're going to take the first one and we're going to bring the ends together. I'm going to knot the looped end. So I'm going to put a knot here at the end of it. And when I tie that, I'm going to put the knot as close to the end as I can so I don't waste any floss. And then I'm going to put the loop over my command hook. Then I am going to knot this end. And if you're like me, you have uneven ends because you didn't measure exactly. So we'll just trim that off. And we're going to put a knot in this end. Okay, and I'm going to move that knot towards the end as much as I can so I don't waste thread. And then I'm going to set that aside for now. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with my other 4 strands of floss. So I've got 4 strands of floss looped, 4 strands of floss looped. That was 8 total that I cut. So 4 and 4, I'm going to knot the looped end and move the knot towards the end. Put the loop over my command hook, trim my edges, and make a knot in this end. Just do an overhand knot and kind of move it towards the end if you can. There we go. Now what we want to do is we want to separate this into 4 strands. We've got 4 strands on one side, 4 strands on the other side. I'm going to take my Kreinik tool, my Kreinik Custom Corder. I'm going to put the hook right at the bottom here. So the hook is right through the loop, 4 strands on each side. I'm going to take this and I'm going to wind it clockwise. I'm going to wind it clockwise like this a bunch of times until it starts to really tighten and want to turn back on itself. You can kind of test it by grabbing there and then doing that. I'm going to pull the hook out, but I'm going to keep the tension on this here. If I let it go, it's going to unwind. So we're going to hang on to that nice and tight. We're going to get a piece of tape, and we're going to tape way at the bottom so we catch the wound portion above the knot. And then we're going to tape this down to the table. And I usually need a second piece of tape here to make sure it's really held down. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this loop of 8 strands. I'm going to separate it so I have 4 on each side. Put my Kreinik Corder in there. Wind clockwise. How far you wind is kind of subjective, but you can tell when it wants to go back on itself that it's ready. So pull that one off. Hang tight to it while I put some tape on the end. Okay, now I'm going to take these 2 ends and tape them together. You want to hang on there tight just to make sure nothing comes undone. There we go. And then I'm going to trim this off. And I'm going to knot this again. Making my knot go towards the bottom. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take my Kreinik Corder, same thing, separate, put the hook on there. This time though, I want to turn it counterclockwise, the opposite way that we went before. And as I do that, you can see that it is creating that beautiful cording that I want. I'm going to say make it tighter than you think you want it to be, because once you take it off the hook, it's going to loosen up a little. So I'm going to take the hook out. On this end, I'm going to take it out, but I'm going to hold tight to it. This end I can let go. You can see it unwinds a little. This end I held tight, and I'm going to knot it now. And once I knot that, it's set. And there you can see I have beautiful cording, nice and tight. It's going to be big enough to go around my pillow, just about the perfect size. So that worked out really well. See why I don't like to do 3 times around? It would be smaller. So that worked out perfectly. See how easy that is to make? Now we're going to make 2-color cording. To make 2-color cording, we do exactly the same thing. We measured around, figured out how much thread we needed, but this time I did 4 of red and I did 4 of white. So these are those big old long strands, 4 each, just like before, but I have looped them so they look like that. So I've got 4 of white and I have 4 red. And I'm gonna knot the looped end, just like we did before. Bring that knot towards the end, put it on the command hook, trim my edges, knot this end, there we go, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put a knot in the looped end, bring that knot towards the end, hook it on the command hook right on top of the other one. Do a quick little trim down here. Put a knot in this end, making it go as far down as we can. And then I'm going to set the white one aside. I'm going to deal with the red one first. We're going to separate this so there are 4 strands on each side. There we go. Take the Kreinik Corder, put the loop through the hook through the loop at the bottom, and wind clockwise. And you can kind of get an idea of when it's ready. Tightens up pretty quickly. Keep the tension on the end there. Get my tape. Tape the end above the knot, nice and tight so it doesn't come unwound. It helps to keep the tension on here while you're doing this. Tape it down. Put a second piece of tape on top of that so it doesn't go anywhere while we're playing with the other piece. Now we take the white one, separate 4 strands on each side, put the hook in there, wind clockwise until it tightens up. A little bit more. There we go. Okay, keep that tension on. And put that on there. Okay. Now we want to put our 2 pieces together. Keeping tension on the whole time. We don't want any of it to come apart. If it does come apart, if you let go, it'll just unwind, and you'll have to unknot it, unwind it, and start over. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We don't want to have to do it twice. Okay, now we're going to make a knot in this end. Move that down. Okay, so now I'm going to separate. I can separate the white and the red. Put my hook in here, and now I'm going to wind counterclockwise. And you can see that beautiful candy cane cording coming in. Okay. Take the hook off here. Hang on tight to this end. It's going to loosen up a little. Actually, we're just going to put a knot in here. There we go. And there's our cording. That's all there is to it, right? So now you can imagine you can make all kinds of cording. You can use all sorts of colors. I think it would be fun to do a DMC as one half of it and metallic on the other half, or all metallic. The sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want with it. One thing I forgot to mention before was how to make your cording thicker or thinner. Everything that I made here was made with 8 strands or 8 long lengths of thread. For instance, when I did the 2-color one, I had 4 long lengths of white and 4 long lengths of red. So it was 8 total. When you do a single color, it was 4 and 4, so 8 total. If you want to make your cording thicker, I would do maybe 5 and 5 for a total of 10. If you want to make it thinner, how about 3 and 3 for 6 total? You can play around with it and determine which thickness you like best. The 8 seems to work well for ornaments, smaller designs, but you may want something thicker. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you know how to make cording now and go out and try all different types of yarns and twines and metallics and see what you can come up with. The quarter is extremely helpful, so I hope you are able to get and use one of these. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. I read them all and I love to hear from you. Love your suggestions. Thank you very much. While you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on anything, and we will see you again soon.